Dear students, Physics Class 1 Thermoelectricity. This is a new chapter I am going to start. Myself, Professor M.R. Patil, HOD, Department of Physics. Dear students, thermoelectricity. The word itself tells you what we are going to learn in this. Thermo means heat and electricity means electrical energy. So conversion of heat energy into electrical energy, that thing we are going to learn in this chapter. But dear students, before going to learn about those things, what are the methods by which we can generate the electricity? So let us see. You can see here, here it is thermal power station, that is polarized coal-fired power generation. So coal-fired means coal is heated, that heat is used to generate the steam, then that steam pressure is used to rotate the turbine, and then electrical energy is generated. Conversion of heat energy into electrical energy only. Okay, but thermoelectricity is a little bit different, that we will discuss it later. Okay, so now where usually the thermal power station is situated in Karnataka? In Raichur. Okay, so that is the biggest thermal power station in Karnataka. Second one you can see here, that is windmill. So here what we use? We use the blowing wind to rotate the giant fans that rotate the turbine due to wind blow, and it generates electricity. So these are all. So this method is called windmill method of generation of electricity. Okay, so now it is a renewable energy source, and here it is a non-renewable energy source because we are wasting here the coal. Clear? Okay, then another one that is most hazardous, most dangerous also, but which can generate tremendous amount of heat energy, that it is known as nuclear power station. Dear students, by using nuclear energy, that nuclear energy generates heat energy, that heat energy is used to generate the electricity. So that it is the nuclear power station. Now it is situated in Karnataka in Kaiga power station. Okay, so that is the another method of generation of electricity. Then let us see one more method. We are all familiar here, that is hydrothermal method. Hydroelectric station also you may call. So that is from the dam, the water is blown with a high velocity on the turbine, and the turbine rotates and it converts into electrical energy. Clear? So in local, it is situated in Gokak Falls, where it generates water energy into electrical energy, dear students. Okay, so these are the basic four methods. So one more method is there, that is known as renewable energy source, that is the solar panels. By using solar panels, sun radiation are used to generate the electrical energy. So that is the new technology. So overall, dear students, when you observe this, that is pie diagram, our overall requirement of the Karnataka electricity, 55% of it required electricity or desired electricity is generated by coal, and 24% by other renewable energy sources such as the solar panels and the windmills. Okay, then only 12% of it is generated by hydro, that is hydropower stations. Okay, then by 7% natural gas. 7% of required electrical energy is generated by using natural gases, and dear students, only 2% of the electrical energy is generated by nuclear power stations. So dear students, from this what do you conclude? That is, most of our electrical energy is generated by thermal power station, that is the coal burning thermal power station that is situated in Raichur. Okay, so we studied the various methods by which we can generate the electricity. Let us see what is this thermoelectricity. So here also we are converting heat energy into electrical energy, but the magnitude of electrical energy is very small, but we can generate the heat energy into electrical energy. So that is, the conversion of heat energy into electrical energy is called as thermoelectricity. So in order to understand the depth of thermoelectricity, we must know some words meaning very clearly. Then only we can understand it. That is, the first word is junction. The point at which two dissimilar metals meet is called as junction. Dear students, here we have used metal A and metal B. So this is one metal and this is the another metal. Okay, and these two metals are dissimilar metals. Dissimilar metals means if metal A is a good conductor of electricity, then metal B is a bad conductor of electricity. Then only we say that these two metals are dissimilar metals. And at the point of junction, so this is called junction 1 and this is called junction 2. Clear? So the point at which the two dissimilar metals meet, so here it is and here it is called as junction, dear students. Okay. Then what is a thermocouple? A pair of dissimilar metals which produces thermoelectric current. A pair of dissimilar metals which produces thermoelectric current is called thermocouple. So here this is a one metal and this is a another metal. So these two are joined end to end, and this combination itself is called thermocouple. Two dissimilar metals joined end to end is called the thermocouple, which produces thermoelectric current. Okay. So next term is thermo EMF. An EMF developed in circuit when two junctions of the thermocouple are at different temperature is called thermo EMF. In the sense, the two junctions of the thermocouple, this is a one junction and this is another junction. When these two junctions are maintained at two different temperatures, for example, this is at room temperature and this junction is heated by using a candle, so about 70-80 degrees Celsius, then these two junctions are at different temperature. So due to which the thermoelectric current or thermo EMF developed in this circuit or thermocouple, so that it is known as thermo EMF. Okay, so next is thermoelectric current. The current obtained by thermo EMF is called as thermoelectric current. Once the thermo EMF is set up in the thermocouple, obviously thermoelectric current flows, dear students. You all know that whenever the potential difference develops, current flows. Whenever an EMF develops, current flows. that EMF, thermo EMF, due to which the thermoelectric current flows. So that it is known as thermoelectric current, dear students. Okay. So now, next is Seebeck effect. When the two junctions of the thermocouple, you can see here in this diagram, so this is a thermocouple, okay. So now across the one wire, that is across the, here it is a copper and this maybe bismuth or iron, it is a Fe, so iron. So we taken here bismuth, okay, we consider the second wire as a bismuth. So copper and bismuth thermocouple it is. So across the copper we connected to one sensitive galvanometer. One junction of the thermocouple is kept in ice bath and the another junction of the thermocouple is kept in a water bath which can be heated. Okay, in the sense we can increase the temperature of this water bath. Okay, now when the two junctions of a thermocouple are at different temperatures, the EMF is developed in the circuit. So this phenomenon is known as Seebeck effect. Basically, Seebeck discovered that when the two junctions of the thermocouple are at two different temperatures, EMF is developed in the circuit or thermocouple, that it is known as Seebeck effect. Okay, so explanation. The junction A is kept in oil bath or it is a water bath, hot junction, and junction B is kept in a ice bath. So here cold junction. A thermocouple of copper bismuth is connected to a sensitive galvanometer is as shown here. When both the junctions are at same temperature, in the sense it is at ice and it is at it is also at the same temperature, in the sense it must be also at 0 degrees Celsius. So therefore, when the two junctions of the thermocouple are at same temperature, there is no deflection is observed in the galvanometer. But when the junction A is heated gradually, so this one gradually in an oil bath or a water bath, keeping the junction B in a ice bath, the deflection in the galvanometer increases gradually. So here when you heat this junction in a water bath, the temperature of this junction goes on increases and the temperature of the B junction remains at ice temperature, that is 0 degrees Celsius. So as the temperature increases in this junction, the galvanometer shows deflection. Okay, it is due to the circuit with the junctions at different temperatures. Clear? Okay, so now the current flows from copper to bismuth at the hot junction and then bismuth to copper at the cold junction. Copper to bismuth at the hot junction, copper to bismuth at the hot junction, and bismuth to copper at the cold junction, the current will flow. The current is found to increase up to 270 degrees Celsius of the hot junction. Okay, beyond 270 degrees Celsius, it is found to be decrease and becomes zero at 540 degrees Celsius. So as the temperature goes on increases, thermo EMF also goes on increases and it reaches maximum at 270 degrees Celsius. If you further heat the junction beyond 270 degrees Celsius, it is found that it is decreasing and becomes zero at 540 degrees Celsius. Beyond 540 degrees Celsius, if you heat further, it changes its direction and increases again with the temperature. Thus, EMF is developed in the circuit when the two junctions are at different temperatures. So this effect is known as Seebeck effect, dear students. Okay. So now, how the variation of thermo EMF with temperature by taking a thermocouple of copper bismuth. Okay. You can see here temperature versus EMF. So temperature is represented along x-axis and EMF, thermo EMF developed along y-axis will be represented. So as the temperature of the hot junction goes on increases, the thermo EMF also goes on increases and it reaches a maximum value at point A, that it is at 270 degrees Celsius. Beyond further, if you increase the temperature, then thermo EMF goes on decreases and it becomes 0. So, okay, it becomes 0 at 540 degrees Celsius. Okay, so now, so in this way, the parabolic path, the EMF variation takes place in a thermocouple. So now, let E be the thermo EMF and T is the temperature between the junctions. Then the equation of parabola E is equal to AT plus BT square, which is the equation of parabola where A and B are the constants called Seebeck coefficients. The graph of thermo EMF E versus temperature difference T between the junctions with cold junction at 0 degrees Celsius is parabolic in nature. Clear? So, therefore, the thermo EMF increases with temperature of hot junction and becomes maximum at particular temperature. So, thermo EMF goes on increases with rise in temperature of the hot junction and it becomes maximum. Thermo EMF becomes maximum for a particular temperature for a particular thermocouple. So, that temperature is known as neutral temperature. That temperature is known as neutral temperature. So here you can see neutral temperature. Okay. So beyond neutral temperature, thermo EMF goes on decreases with increase in temperature. If you further increase the temperature, the thermo EMF goes on decreases and it reaches 0 for another particular temperature. This temperature is known as inversion temperature or temperature of inversion. Okay. So dear students, we studied thermoelectric effect, thermoelectricity, then Seebeck effect. Okay. So I give you an assignment. Go to the YouTube or Google, find what actually mechanism takes place in a thermocouple when the two junctions of the thermocouple are kept at two different temperatures, how thermo EMF develops in a thermocouple. So you have to find it. Okay. So do it, open YouTube or Google, type it and study it. We will discuss in detail how thermo EMF develops or how thermo EMF creates in a thermocouple when the junctions of the thermocouple are maintained at two different temperatures in the next class. Okay. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.